Breaking the News with Des Clark.
I am Des Clark and this is Breaking the News, the show that breaks the week's news and asks four opinionated panellists to put it back together again. And joining me this week is comedian Jay Lafferty, and on her team is comic Alistair Barry, and facing off against them is stand-up and writer Catherine Bohart, and with her is comedian Scott Agnew. In the news this week, President Donald Trump has returned to the campaign trail less than 2 weeks after testing positive for coronavirus, making him the first person in history to fake being well so he can go back to work. The SNP has been criticised after using footage of a woman in a Scout uniform as part of a party political broadcast. Nicola Sturgeon has since apologised and returned the uniform. And Celtic and Rangers fans have been warned not to travel south of the border to watch this weekend's derby in a pub, which simultaneously gave each and every one of them the idea to travel south of the border to watch this weekend's derby in a pub. Right, you've met the panel. Let's crack on with round one. And this is the Broken News round, where our teams have to guess the two major stories of the week that have been mashed together into one single news headline. So, Jay and Alistair, can you tell me the first story, please?
All pubs and restaurants in the Central Belt closed on Friday night
because Donald Trump has returned to the campaign trail.
Nicola Sturgeon
accused the president of reckless behaviour since his diagnosis.
The First Minister says,
how would you feel about a big slobbery kiss from Donald Trump round about now?
So, oh, well, now what a mess the news is, but let's unpick it. Jay, any ideas on our first story?
So I think our first story, Des, is about the ever-changing and daily updated new restrictions that we're all living under. And I don't know what people are complaining about, to be honest, because the rules are perfectly simple. So if you live in Fife and it's Tuesday, then you can drink outside with people you share a toilet with until 6 p.m, but only if there's a full moon and you've said the magic chant. But if you live in Bathgate, it's a Wednesday morning and then you have to live in the shed until next March where a frog kisses you on the nose. It's totally obvious.
Is the news about the new COVID restrictions, not only in Scotland, of course, but the whole of the UK. In England, there is a 3-tier system in place, whilst in Scotland, there are current blanket restrictions with even tighter rules across the Central Belt. Amongst the rulings, bingo halls are closed for 2 weeks. So now when somebody shouts house, that's just the police telling you where to go back to. It's a moving situation, Alistair. Minute by minute, we get updates on it. What do you think about the latest restrictions and how they're affecting you?
Down here, I mean, this is the thing, I don't know, because news has just changed today. London is going... This is the other thing they do, is they say there is a terrible problem. We're going to have to change everything. It's so important, the urgency to save lives, to cut the infections, to flatten the curve, and we are leaping into action on Thursday week. We are absolute, I
have to say, I'm quite a fan of the 3-tiered system because it makes me nostalgic for the very cruel all-girls school I went to, in that we would do the same sort of tiering with our friends. So like tier 1, you could come to my house, you're allowed in the gang. Tier 2, I'll think about it, but it's probably best if it's on neutral ground. Tier 3, don't look at me or I'll come for you. It's like a nice system. I find it quite relatable.
So what about you then, Scott? How are you living with the ever-changing restrictions?
When Nicola Sturgeon was announcing the new rules the other week, I was watching live on the telly, and whilst in the meantime on Facebook, this woman who is in her 50s, has lived in Edinburgh her whole life, and went, so does Edinburgh count as Lothian then? If you don't even know where you live, darling, you've not got a hope in understanding anything else. Do you know? Have you never seen a bus, for goodness sake?
But Alistair, do you think it's actually working?
The bottom line is no one knows, as we've already evidenced. It's so confusing. And if you saw that press conference with Johnson the other day when he was asked about the rule of 6 in the North East, you couldn't write it better as a comedy sketch. He was genuinely looking off to the side like a child in a school play who isn't sure if Jesus should be in the manger. He was just, as I understand it.
Jay, what about you? Restrictions coming in, various points to various places. Do you think things are improving?
I mean, it's very difficult to tell because I live in Edinburgh now, so you never get invited in anyone's house for your tea anyway, so nothing much has changed.
Scott, what about it? Do you think things are improving with all these restrictions?
Obviously not. And I did enjoy Nicola Sturgeon getting torn into that debate about what is a cafe and what is a restaurant. and I didn't realise that was a confusing thing. Do you know, can you get a roll and square sausage? It's a cafe, right? Did you get a lentil soup starter, mince and tatties main, and fruit salad with a wee scoop of Wall's ice cream and a stainless steel dish? That is a restaurant. Do you know, I thought that was quite simple. I didn't think that needed explaining.
So here's a question for you, and I'll start with you, Jay. What else in life do you think should have a curfew?
Being polite to people. Like,
Wow.
you have to keep your cool until like 7 p.m. And then after that, if anyone annoys you, you're legitimately allowed to tear them a new one.
What about yourself, Catherine? We're talking about the bars and cafes having a curfew. What else do you think in life should have a curfew?
Given my observations about who does and who does not wear a mask, I'm going to have to say men. I think they should get like a 2-hour window to go to shops and be on buses and splutter where they need to. And the rest of the time, those of us who are prepared to participate in taking care of one another's well-being should be allowed to go about our business. And by the rest of us, I do mean women.
Well, there you go. The man curfew. Scott, what do you think of that?
Well, to be fair, I've been experiencing a man curfew since about the 15th of March. Hide the hell of a man for months. Findy's got a spare man they're wanting rid of. Send them my way, you know.
Scott, we'll get it sorted.
I'm looking for somebody to bubble with, you know.
Yes, of course, changing coronavirus restrictions is the right answer. Well done, Jay and Alistair. You get 2 points for that. And now to you, Catherine and Scott. What was the other story we were after?
Okay, so I'm pretty sure this is about the US election and good old President Trump's speedy return to the campaign trail post-corona diagnosis. My favourite quote from the last few days was Biden referring to Trump's behaviour as him behaving recklessly since his diagnosis, which to my mind is like saying a house fire really got out of hand when it hits city limits. You're like, oh, I'd say it was always bad. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was always bad.
Well, the right answer as well there, Catherine. Well done. It is the news that the 2020 US presidential election campaigns are well underway with less than a month now until Election Day. It's been a rocky campaign for Republican Donald Trump. He's up against Democrat Joe Biden, who polls suggest has stretched into the lead. Now, Biden has attacked Trump as an incompetent leader who's always leaving things in tatters. Tatters, of course, being Donald Trump's favourite strip club, where he was always forgetting stuff. So it's nice of Joe to bring that back there. Scott, I know you've been following this. What are you making of the campaign for the US presidency so far?
I don't know who is trolling who anymore, because when he was doing a rally in Iowa, he was out dancing to YMCA, right? And he kind of almost endorsed the Proud Boys, which was an American sort of white nationalist militia group. And the LGBT community had then trolled Trump online with hashtag Proud Boys, and it was just lots of gay men kissing and cavorting with one another. And then he just comes out and does YMCA from the Village People. Like, who is trolling who now?
My favourite thing about that story, though, Scott, was that the Proud Boys, who are obviously, you know, deeply held beliefs in, as you say, American white nationalism, got so upset by being called homosexual by the gay community in the States that they gathered around and decided that something had to be done and changed their name to the Leathermen. Now, not an area I know an enormous amount about, but...
Oh, man, that's so funny. I find it kind of... I guess based on everything else it makes sense, but I did find it sad and slightly strange that Donald Trump was such a bad dancer when he danced along to the YMCA. Like, you think a man who's paid for that many dances would have picked up a few moves, but he just got no rhythm.
So far, my favourite campaign video is the one that points out that Trump is the first president in over a century not to have a dog. I don't know if anybody's seen that, but basically it's a video, and it's all the presidents have owned dogs in the White House for hundreds of years, and Joe Biden has a German Shepherd called Champ, And then the video finishes with a dogless Trump.
Wow.
And him just taking the mickey out of dogs. And the caption says, "Choose your humans wisely." And I absolutely love it because it's obvious why Donald can't have a dog, because he names everything after himself. We've got Trump Towers, we've got Trump Plaza, we've got Trump Jr. He couldn't be shouting Trump off the bed, at least not without a Russian accent. Do you know, it's just that's how difficult it is. I think it's quite interesting, the differences in their campaigns, like the way that Trump does his campaign, the way that Biden does his. So like Trump's campaign, ironically, is a bit like a Mexican soap opera, which he built a wall around. And Biden's has been more like a repeat of the Antiques Roadshow. He's so old, Biden. He looks and he sounds like Benjamin Button's first ultrasound. That is the sort of level.
Well done, Catherine and Scott. You get 2 points for that. It was the mashup of the new COVID rules and the US presidential election. And at the end of that round, the teams are on 2 points apiece. Now, so much of our news is about public opinion, and this week we spoke to Scottish crime writer Christopher Brookmeyer and Isa herself, actress Jane McCarry. So, Catherine and Scott, what story do you think that Jane is on about here?
I was pure raging when I heard this, because we look like we're having fun at work and we don't always work 9 to 5 and go in a suit and tie. I think sometimes the government think that it doesn't really matter so much, when actually it really, really, really matters.
Well, this is Rishi Sunak, our beloved Chancellor, who has kind of suggested that people in the arts might want to go and retrain. And then just for a right laugh, because we weren't raging enough, there was a wee advert of a girl ballet dancing. Was it Fatima? Fatima's a ballet dancer, but she could be in cyber. And really sinister brackets. I don't know where you get sinister brackets, but the Tory party managed to find some.
B&Q. Yeah.
Fatima could be in cyber. She just doesn't know it yet. What is it that I don't know?
It felt a bit like the bitchiest note you could possibly give a ballet dancer, didn't it? At the end of rehearsals, she's just changing her shoes, and the director looks over and goes, "Well, Fatima's going to move into digital. She just doesn't know it yet."
Doesn't know it.
Well done, Scott. You've correctly identified the answer. It is the news that an advertisement, which includes UK government branding, has angered supporters of the arts after appearing to suggest that those working in the arts should consider retraining in digital skills. What about it then, Catherine? Obviously, there's been a backlash to this suggestion. What do you make of it?
I did read the poster and think it was a little bit more hopeful maybe than Scott, in the sense that I thought maybe the Tories just saw a woman capable of tying her own shoelaces and thought, she could develop a better track and trace system, maybe. I don't know. Who's to say?
The idea of comedians could be retrained for proper jobs is more ambitious than the Brexit deal. I mean, I once went into a back room and a comedian had his trousers on back to front. You don't want comedians delivering your Amazon parcel, coming up your driveway to walk on music, asking your name before they insult your wife. I just don't think I would feel reassured. See, if I went into a hospital and it turned out that Des was your trainee doctor, Des doesn't do, you're damn right. Take that scalpel off him. You'd be covered in tan straight away.
You've also just given BBC Scotland the idea for a new series, so well done. Thank you for that, Jane. Just doing wee operations to help out the NHS.
I don't know if anybody else took the little survey test you can do. But the quiz, I took the quiz. Yeah, I'm so excited to hear what everyone else got, because I got possibly the worst result I could have gotten, which was that I got 29 different results. It basically was like, you could be a lecturer, or you could work in manufacturing, or you could be in the police service, or you could work at, basically all the government said was, follow your heart, which is useless to me. It's useless to me.
Scott, did you take this survey?
I did take the survey. I quite enjoyed the questions that they asked you. One of the questions was, do you like working... Do you like working with facts? Which I answered yes. So that rules me out of a job with the Conservative Party Central HQ.
There was one question. I want to make things better for other people, and you went from agree to strongly What psychopath strongly disagrees that they want to...
I was quite chuffed with my results. I don't know how they're connected. They're quite varied. but I got 3 things. So I could be a horse groomer, a bodyguard, or a crime scene investigator. So if Kevin Costner's horse has been murdered, I'm the woman you call. That is what's happening.
Do you know what I think is funny about this? Everyone's taking the survey and they're coming up with most ridiculous job titles that do not fit into what they're actually capable of. The funniest one I saw was Richard Leonard was apparently told that he could become First Minister. I mean, some of these are ridiculous. Where do they get them? But there you go. Politicians are saying this. But here's a question. If politicians were being asked to retrain into new jobs, who would you put where?
I think I would put all of them in a brewery and see if they could organise a decent party. And I bet my bottom dollar that everyone would still be sober at 10 o'clock when the only place to go for a drink is the House of Commons bar, which is still open.
Nice.
Yes.
Jay, finally to you. Politicians retraining. Let's see. Who would you put where?
I've always thought that Willie Rennie would make a good lollipop man.
Any particular reason?
He's got a wee lovely lollipop man face. Do you know? He's got that sort of like smiley. You could just like imagine Willie Rennie with his wee lollipop stick and his bright yellow coat. You can see it. Don't tell me you cannot see that.
The backlash to the Rethink, Reskill, Reboot campaign is the correct answer. 2 points go to Catherine and Scott. To you now, Jay and Alistair. What do you think Christopher Brookmeyer is talking about here?
It's one of the many things that I think constitutes a national embarrassment. This is a process in which an awful lot of effort must go into anticipating who is likely to tell them to get stuffed.
I think he was talking about the Queen's Honours List.
Jay, that is the correct answer. Well done. It's the news that frontline workers who contributed to the COVID-19 response have been recognised in the Queen's belated birthday honours, along with some well-known names like footballer Marcus Rashford, fitness coach Joe Wicks, TV presenter Lorraine Kelly, and the actress Lorraine Kelly.
Do you think the Queen has let herself go like everyone else in lockdown? And so she's just going to come out in a dressing gown eating from a packet of hobnobs and knight Maureen Lipman with a leak because nobody can find the key for the sword cupboard?
Yeah, exactly. We won't. Alistair, what about it? Do you think that honours are still a good way to recognise achievements?
It's a bizarre system to still keep on awarding things in the name of the empire. I mean, the empire now consists of the Commonwealth, which is basically a sports day that we hold every 4 years. And then, I mean, you actually look at those people who have, I mean, this year, Tommy Steele got one. I mean, you should probably win something just for discovering the secret of immortality.
I did enjoy Lorraine Kelly, CBE. She got a CBE for journalism. You know, that's for those huge exclusives and tough questions. Will Tyrone and Fizz get back together on Coronation Street? You know? Would you wear a halter neck blouse with those wedges? I mean, that is impressive stuff.
Catherine, what about yourself? The honours list is out. Do you think it's a good way to recognise achievements?
I'm Irish.
Mm-hmm.
That's an achievement.
Sorry, I'll explain. No, I don't. And if I said anything else, I wouldn't be led back over the border. So no. And I mean, again, I might just be bitter because the Irish don't even get invited to the sports day. So I'm not sure. It's not for me. It's not for me.
The people who turned them down is so much cooler. I mean, Roald Dahl turned them down, Alfred Hitchcock, David Bowie. He's actually said, I seriously don't know what it's for.
So I've got a question for you, and I'll actually put this to everyone. I'll start with you, Alistair. What have you turned down?
I remember turning down there was a very attractive girl who phoned me once in 1998, but I couldn't be bothered to go all the way to Tooting, and I've regretted it ever since. So I think I'll probably leave it there.
Anything you can think of that you've turned down?
I guess I turned down heterosexuality in favour of a sensible shoe.
Dizzy Rascal is the first person to be honoured for services to grime since the Queen gave a knighthood to Mr. Muscle. There we are. It is the Queen's birthday honours list. That is the correct answer. And 2 points go to Jay and Alistair. You're tuned to a socially distant Breaking the News on BBC Radio Scotland with me, Des Clark. Now, this round is all about who is in the news. I will play you a clip of a mystery person. All you have to do is tell me who it is. So, Jay and Alistair, you're first this time. Who is this?
Will the Cabinet Office conduct an investigation into potential breaches, or have ministers yet again decided that they have had enough of experts?
Margaret Ferrier.
It is Margaret Ferrier, who faced calls to quit after travelling from Glasgow to London with COVID-19 symptoms last month. Now, Ms Ferrier has been criticised for clinging on and not giving up her seat, even when the elderly couple on the train asked her nicely. So, Alistair, this one rumbles on and on. What do you make of this story?
She's quite remarkable, isn't she? I mean, she said that the whole incident, she had a tickly cough, she had a test, she travelled whilst waiting for the results of the test, then got a positive test, then travelled back. She had to get the train. She couldn't drive back. I don't know why. If she just said she was testing her eyesight, she would probably have got let off.
Obviously, this week, she voted by proxy at the House of Commons. Now, I didn't know what that was. So I went and looked that up, and it just basically means that you can get somebody else, another MP went and voted for her as her proxy. Like, I'm very into this idea. I wish we could do all sorts of things by proxy. You know, everyone's partner's got that old friend that you can't stand. You don't need to think of an excuse of why you can't make dinner anymore. You just send a proxy. Getting fired, proxy. Just proxy it. I love it.
I think if you want to know what the virus is like, you now need to look at the fact that Boris Johnson has had it, Bolsonaro in Brazil has had it, and Donald Trump has had it, and they're all fine. What we know about this virus is it's probably right-wing.
We're learning more about it every day. The science gets stronger. Scott, what about it? Margaret Ferrier.
We've got some connections here, Des. She was at Mass because she'll have been scared not to go to Mass because she's actually an alumni of our old school, Holyrood Secondary. So on fear of death, she'll had to have gone to Mass. So she will. The thing is, about that school that we went to at Holyrood, I mean, I thought it was a kind of toss-up between me and Frankie Boyle about who disgraced the place most. But it turns out Margaret has managed to make us look like altar boys in comparison, quite frankly.
2 points to Jay and Alistair. That was Margaret Ferrier, who is still refusing to step down. As she says, there's too big a gap between the train and the platform. Right, Catherine and Scott, it's your turn now. Who is this and why are they in the news?
I'm always the diplomat. I like a quiet life. So I learnt quite quickly to just keep my mouth shut and keep my head down, to stay out of the firing line.
I remember her well, the voice of a generation, Melanie C. of the Spice Girls. Was she ever seen doing sport? No. Did she have all of the gear? Yes. And I loved her so.
Well done to you, Catherine, for getting it right. It's Sporty Spice herself, Melanie C., who's been talking about her rise to fame with the Spice Girls and how she feels it's no longer embarrassing to be a big pop fan. Scott, what about it then? Do you agree with her?
I'm about to get my pink card withdrawn. My gay card is going to be withdrawn. I'll be kicked out the union. Because I was never a fan of the Spice Girls at all.
Oh yeah, we are going to need that card back immediately.
It was that particular riff, that na 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 na.
And to you, Alistair, what do you make of this?
Pop was never not cool. I mean, I actually was a big Spice Girls fan because I'm a couple of years older than most of the panellists, I believe, and I kind of must have reached that point where it was okay. I didn't actually care anymore. You know, that sort of point when you start wearing shorts because you don't care about your legs. And I remember going on a holiday with a load of mates to Cornwall, and as we ran into the sea, every time in the middle of the night drunk, we'd be shouting, "People of the world!" So I always loved the Spice Girls. I thought they were great. I'm very happy to take your gay card off you, Scott. Frankly, if it means I can hand in my children, I'll be delighted.
They stopped that being a rule a while ago. We can have both.
Oh, damn it all. Every time I get there, they change the goalposts.
I'm a child in the 90s. I've everything from Oasis, Nirvana and Kylie in my music collection. But I've been ashamed of other people's musical tastes. Like, my husband is a big fan of jazz. I don't know if you've ever been to a jazz concert, but it's like listening to a normal band being chased by feral cats down a flight of stairs for 2.5 hours.
And here's a question that will take you back to the 90s. Which Spice Girl do you most identify with?
It's a bit on the nose and it's a little bit obvious, but it is ginger, but not just because of our shared colour of locks, but because I also can't sing.
What about you, Jay Lafferty?
See, I would say posh as like Victoria. I can't remember the other one's names.
Mel C is the right answer. Well done. And 2 points go to Catherine and Scott. And it's time now for a final quick-fire round, which is all about deciphering the numbers in the news. So I will read out a headline. All the teams have to do is fill in the blanks. So get ready, teams. When we run out of time, you'll hear this.
Would you mind peeing on the lemon tree?
That is Jackie Brambles there. What does happen to that show when Kay Adams is off? Let's get ready, teams. Here we go. What was sent 33,520 feet up in the air this week?
Is it Margaret Ferrier on a hot air balloon trip? Because she's done everything else.
What was sent 33,528 feet up in the air this week?
No one knows, but could a Mr. KJ please make his way to the Lost Property Department?
The Rocket Man is responsible. Oh, brilliant. What was sent 33,528 feet up in the air this week?
Trump's blood pressure when he saw the latest polls.
Oh, that's so good. Then immediately given a cocktail of drugs to calm him down. The chicken nugget is the answer that made history after becoming the first of its kind to be sent into space. One man said he was so shocked to hear the nugget was currently hurtling through space, especially since Deliveroo said they were supposed to deliver it to his house in Aberdeen 30 minutes ago. So unfortunately for him, you got there with the answer.
Would you mind peeing on the lemon tree?
Oh, there we go. That is the klaxon, and it means that Jackie has brambled. And at the end of the quiz, our winners this week are Catherine Bohart and Scott Agnew.
Unbelievable.
Okay, great.
Commiserations to Jay Lafferty and Alistair Barry.
Thank you.
Unlucky.
Anti-English sentiment.
Oh, never, surely not. Fairly counted. And we'll leave you with the breaking news. Breaking news just in. An Irish court has ruled that Subway's sandwich bread contains too much sugar to qualify as bread. It is the first ruling on the line between bread and cake since the famous case, The People of France versus Marie Antoinette. Portugal and Juventus forward Cristiano Ronaldo has tested positive for coronavirus. He's been suffering from a slight fever and mild cough for a few days, and judging by his wardrobe, has been experiencing a loss of taste for quite some time now. And Priti Patel refused to deny that the Home Office made plans to install a wave machine in the English Channel to deter migrants. Reports have also emerged of officials failing to enforce the one-at-a-time rule on the Dover to Calais log flume. The news is broken. I've been Des Clark. Goodbye! Yay!